Hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of How to Direct a Camera. In this episode, we learned the second type of invisible camera move, which is called internally generated camera move. Okay, let's get it started now. If you remember, we talked about three types of invisible camera move. Externally generated camera move, of which we discussed last week in episode 1. And for those who haven't seen that, I'll leave the link. You can find it up right corner here. And as discussed in episode 1, all good camera, we said that all good camera moves are invisible. So today, we explain the second types of invisible camera moves, which is internally generated camera move. And we have some examples, and then I'll explain how I used myself in my project, The Last Chance, and we look at some shots and I explain that why I used it for that specific shot, and after that we'll practice together inside 3D software, which is iClone in my case, but you can practice in any other 3D software you know or you have. By end of this episode, you can make this invisible camera move and make your shots more cinematic and tell the story in better way for your audience. Okay, internally generated camera moves are divided into two main categories. They show the audience what the main character either sees or feels. Very important. So classical POV shots and emotional POV shots. So if it shows you what the center of the story sees, we call that shot POV, right? Point of view. In this case, the shot before POV is showing character's eyes, right? Because you have to show character's eyes first, and then you cut to POV shot and showing what the character is seeing. So we start with a shot on the eyes of the center of the story. Okay, very important. Which means that they are following something with their eyes, right? So how do they follow? They follow with either moving their head or moving their eyes, or even the character is following by moving themselves, right? So you have their eyes inside the frame, and then you cut to a shot which shows you what they see. In that shot, you've got camera moving, and the audience understands that it's showing you what that person who is moving is seeing. Okay, let's have a look at some examples here. Here we have her head and her eyes moving and following something, and then we cut to POV shot. We saw her eyes, and then we saw a camera is moving, so we understand that it's moving because it's showing what she is seeing. Okay, the next one, we cut to the head turning to the left and right, and then we cut to the point of view, camera moves and pushes to the next person. And this is the other example. Now let's have a look at the other types of internally generated camera move, which is telling you how the character feels. Now look at this shot. The camera is moving even though he is standing. This is showing us how he feels, and this is the most common of internally generated camera moves. It can gives us the feeling of how sad he is, how stressed he is, he's making a decision, he's thinking about something, and all these things, as you can see, it's showing based on the mood and based on the move we are making with the camera. Okay, let me take you to iClone and I explain exactly what I mean. Okay, so I'm just fast forwarding this and I explain to you. So in this the first scene, we want to create a internally generated camera, which is showing how our character feels. Let me create a camera. Okay, this is my camera, and my camera is going to be moving and showing how our character, the center of the story, feels. Okay, so here we set the camera, and I'm just checking from the mini viewport to make sure I'm blocking the camera in the right place. A little bit down. Okay. Yep. Yeah, let me just put that in. Okay. Yep. So now this is good. I'm happy. And I'm going to remove the camera movement to make sure this camera is in the right place. Okay. And let's start doing it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we are moving the camera from the time he looks at the camera, or maybe from here. Okay, I set the camera and then I'm pushing the camera toward his face. Yep, it's good. Okay, I'll just leave it as in default because I want to see how smooth the camera moves, and that's exactly what we get. Okay, and this is the second example, and in this example we are making internally generated camera move, which is showing the point of view. Okay, so for this purpose I am um, preparing two cameras. So I have two cameras. One camera is this camera, which is showing Jimmy comes in, turns his head to left and right, and then we are going to cut to the next camera, which is from his point of view. Okay, see, Jimmy is looking left and right, and this is my camera here, as you can see. Okay, and then I'm creating another camera. I'm blocking another camera here. Let's name it camera 2, maybe. And now this is his point of view. This is what our character is seeing. And as I mentioned before, so we are going to have two cameras. One is focusing at his eyes or his head. His head turns left and right, which is showing us what he's looking at something, he's searching, and then straight away we cut to this next camera, which is his point of view. Okay, so now for his point of view, which is the second camera, I need to move the camera. Okay, let me see, maybe here. This is good. Okay, so the camera now is moving. And this is exactly showing what our character is looking at from his point of view. And this is the second type of internally generated cameras, as we discussed. Okay, that's it for this session. Thank you so much for your time. Please let me know what you think down the comment below. If you like, please like and subscribe and share it and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Until then, happy film directing and see you then.